much in it. I will never go over that. Jagged Little Pill, Tragic Kingdom, No Need to Argue, Whip Smart, White Chocolate Space Egg, Exile in Guyville. There are some albums that just take me to a place. And as you may imagine from some of those names that I just dropped, I came of age during the golden era of angsty 90s chick rock. Angry songs that were about relationships and tears that I was too young to understand. But there's only one song that really speaks to me. Rather, I should say it's a song that plays when my father is speaking to me. Now, I could have said that differently. I could have said that it's a song that plays when I'm thinking about my father, or even a song that I play when I want to feel closer to my father. But if you have a dead parent, the way that I do, you may know that it's not a thought, and it's not even really a feeling, it's an is. This is the song that plays when my father is speaking to me. We lived in a split-level house in northwestern Wisconsin on the corner or the border with Minnesota in a smallish town called River Falls. We had a really nice front yard and a squat driveway, and in the back we had a super nice backyard with a sandbox and a swing set and a veranda. I'm not actually sure if that's what that thing was called. It was like this bright green plastic astroturf thing in the backyard that my parents called a veranda. The thing about a split level is that when you enter it, it doesn't really greet you with anything. A split level greets you with a crossroads, a decision to go up or to go down. The downstairs of our split level is a space that we call the basement. It had carpet, probably brown carpet, because this was the late 80s, early 90s. So it wasn't really scary like most basements are. We had this really nice plaid brown couch, and there was a fireplace. Once a bat got caught in our house, and it flew all over the house until my dad cornered it. He took the pokey thing for the fireplace, and he stabbed it, and he put it into the fire in the fireplace. And then he took it out back and left it on the veranda. When I asked him why he was doing that, he said that he was leaving it there as a message to all other dads. So they would know that this was not a home that they should dare to enter. I think he was kidding. Downstairs is also where the laundry room was, which is where my parents would hide our Christmas presents. The laundry room is where the big spare box freezer was that me and my sisters would fold over at the waist into so that we could grab hold of Freezy Pops and other frozen treats. Downstairs is also where my parents' bedroom was, or at least where it was eventually. I think they moved down there after my little brother was born, or maybe after my cousin moved in. I don't totally remember, but it was because upstairs in the split level, there were only 3 bedrooms to split between me, 2 sisters, my little brother, my cousin, and both of my parents. Upstairs is also where the bathroom was, or at least the only bathroom that I can remember us having in that house, and it's where the living room was. In my family, living room means a room that you don't actually go into. It's where the nice furniture is. It's where serious, formal, sometimes seated conversations take place. It's not really a room for living in at all. Upstairs is also where the dining room was and where the kitchen was, where my mom would cook my dad Nigerian fufu and spinach stew and cook Kraft macaroni and cheese for us kids. Upstairs is where my bedroom was, my parents' old bedroom that I shared with my 2 sisters. We slept on bunk beds. I slept on the top bunk on a twin bed, and my sister shared a queen on the bottom bunk. That bedroom is the only place where anyone has ever punched me. It was my big sister. She punched me right in the stomach. I took it. I fell backwards into a chair. I looked up at her and asked, "But why?" Which is typical Theresa. An intense emotion followed almost immediately by the body taking over to exit the scene. We lived in River Falls, Wisconsin because my dad was a professor at the university in town. My dad is from Nigeria, but as far as I know, none of his siblings ever immigrated over from Nigeria to the United States. Several of my mom's siblings from Ghana, which is where her side of the family is from, did immigrate to the United States, and a handful of them were living also in the Midwest. A cluster of them were in the Milwaukee area, which is also in Wisconsin, in the southeastern corner of the state, which is about a 4, maybe 5-hour drive across the state to River Falls where we lived. Once, my uncle made that drive completely unexpectedly. He drove 4, maybe 5 hours unannounced in the middle of the week, all the way up to River Falls to meet with me and my siblings and my mom. My dad wasn't there because he had gone to Nigeria maybe a week or so prior for his mother's funeral, and he just hadn't returned back home yet. My uncle entered the purgatory that is the split level, and we went upstairs. We sat with him in the living room. I don't remember what we talked about when he first got there, sitting on those scratchy fabric formal couches, but eventually my mom sent me and the kids into our bedroom so the parents could have a conversation, or the grown-ups could have a conversation. Typical Theresa, again, an intense emotion followed by the body taking over to exit the scene. My father taught me my first word. Aish is the word. He would say it when he was watching the news. It was his way of saying, shh, be quiet so that I can listen to what is happening. Aish is a word that I started to say, but when I said it, it meant open, or please open this for me, as I handed whatever snack I was probably trying to get into to the big sister or parent in the room, which is again just like me, that I would take the command, be quiet, and turn it into the request, please help me. So back in my bedroom this day that my uncle had driven across the state 4 or 5 hours to meet with me and my family, and my mom had sent us into the bedroom so the grown-ups could have a serious conversation, my mother came into our bedroom. I don't know exactly what she said, but what she ended up telling us is that my father, the father of her 4 children, her husband, had died. My body took me downstairs. The only way to get there was to go past the living room, down a couple of steps into the purgatory, down a few more steps, past the spider closet, which would have been a better place to hide the Christmas presents because us kids never went in there voluntarily. I went to the space where the brown carpet was and that brown plaid couch and the fireplace. That space is the backdrop to all of the photos of us opening up those Christmas presents, and it's where the TV was. I turned on the TV, and the very first thing I saw was a video for this song. Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven? Would it be the same if I saw you in heaven? I must go on and carry on, because I don't belong here in heaven. Typical Theresa, an intense emotion followed by the body taking over, or rather, my body taking care of me. My father taking care of me. My cousin was one of the first of our family members to visit my family after my father's passing had spread around the family. She told me that she came to visit me recently here in Boston, and she told me that when she arrived at her house in River Falls, I greeted her at the front door of the split level, and I asked her what she was doing here. I told her that we were grieving, and that we didn't have any time for anybody who didn't understand that. She says that she remembers that I was the first of my siblings to tell my mother that I wanted to go back to school. I told my mom that I needed to go back to 3rd grade because I needed to get used to this normal that was our new life. It's really the first lesson that my father taught me after his passing, that you're gonna have to be in your body. You're gonna have to go on, carry on, because you don't belong here yet. Tears in heaven were the first tears that I ever really understood. Thank you.